Hi everyone, welcome back to Lemon Talks, a podcast by Lemonfridge Studio, where we peel back the layers of design, lifestyle, and everything in between. I'm your host Renee, and joining me today is my co-host Jeffrey. He's also the co-founder of Lemonfridge Studio. Today we are taking a slightly different angle, diving into the business behind design. And joining us is Shee Wen. He is the Chief Operating Officer and Chief Marketing Officer of Commune Lifestyle. We are excited to have him today. So maybe you can tell us a little bit more about what you do at Commune.
Thanks for having me, Renee. As introduced, I am CEO and CMO. Overseas Commune's business, mainly overseas, going into new markets by the mode of franchising and licensing. Mainly operations, marketing in different markets, between the finance and the design, everything in between. Coincidentally, I'm also the president of Franchising and Licensing Association.
Maybe you can share a bit more about what's FLA about.
FLA is Franchise and Licensing Association in Singapore. So mainly we are not very industrial based. We are a very horizontal based association because it's a mode of business using franchising and licensing. 90% of our stores overseas, we use the mode of dealership program. A lot of our members are local brands. They are franchisors. So everything outside Singapore or even within Singapore, they franchise.
Come together to learn things.
Come together to learn things, and the association actually provides a lot of training for their workforce. In the association, we cascade the best industrial practice. We see what everybody else in the world is doing, and then we try to tell them what is the best practice.
So going back to Commune and Koda, both of them have very different business models. One of them I think is focused on more retail. The other one is maybe an OEM model. Maybe you can share a bit more.
Koda, also a local company. We are listed in the SGX, predominantly furniture manufacturing, since 1972, founded by my grandfather. The expertise of Koda is actually furniture manufacturing, very export oriented. Koda does OEM as well as ODM. We can have our own design and show it to customers, or the customer have their design and show it to us, and we manufacture it as their requirement. Manufacture and export, that is what the main business is. Tapping on what our experience is with the export customer, who are also multi-chain retail stores. So we know how they sell things, how they do marketing. We need to know all this before we can sell them products. Tapping on all this knowledge that we have, we started Commune in 2011. It spun off pretty quickly because we see how the foreign brand expand themselves. When we start, we already know Singapore is a very small market. 2012, I already start going out to sell my franchise package. The first country that actually opened shop is China. But the first country that I went to knock on doors is the Philippines. It was an uphill challenge because the question is always, who is Commune?
But they will have known that you have Koda, you all have been in this industry for some time already. But they still look at the brand.
Commercially and for consumers because retail is really forward facing to consumer rather than the back end. But when we started Commune, then all this kicks in and it's a steep learning curve. But with the experience we have and definitely government fundings, we grew faster than anybody else. So there's a difference. One is manufacturing, one is retail, brand management. Yeah. And when you do franchising, your company suddenly becomes like a educational institute. You got to step back and look into how to make the operations more efficient.
For a brand like Commune to achieve the global reach that you guys are doing now, what do you think gives the brand the competitive edge internationally?
Number one on the mind is this market must hold a Singapore brand higher than their own. That means Singapore brand must hold some water in their market. Then we will consider going. So mainly targeting the Asian countries, where when you say we are a Singapore brand, then they'll be like, oh, what does a Singapore brand stands for? Trustworthy, reliable. When they know that you are going into a franchise mode, they will feel very confident that you are very transparent with your dealings and your management. So that's what the Singapore brand stands for. We are trying to make Singapore the hub for probably a lot of association will say a knowledge-based hub in Singapore for the rest of Southeast Asia. We need to position ourselves as Commune to say that we are from Singapore, and Singapore is strong in certain things like small living spaces because of our HDB. We design things based on lifestyle concept rather than a Singapore design. Why we stand out is because we don't only design individual products, but we design the whole concept behind this lifestyle to help individual amplify what they want their home to be.
Koda is a manufacturer to Commune, but it's also deeply design-led. So why do you think design is so crucial in the future of manufacturing?
When it comes to manufacturing, definitely it boils down to product design. In the Koda manufacturing intent, definitely is how to design it to make it more efficient, cost saving, fast, safe, and then the design must be receptive to the mass market lah. Design to us can be more than product design. It's designing the way you actually lay out your production line. And Commune is actually born out of a session of design thinking. So through the session, we really structured the thought process. So this is where we are, this is what we're going to be, and in the middle, what we're going to do to make sure that we are going to be where we wanted to be. And also, if a manufacturing is going to improve in the future and be sustainable in the future, I think designing the whole production process is crucial. You got to do what is more efficient for your own production, because every production is different.
Where do you see Asia's furniture and lifestyle industry heading in the next decade?
I hope not Asia lah. I hope Singapore could be the one leading smart manufacturing, because our IHL are very knowledgeable about this. It's just that, of course, constraints lah, So a lot of consideration, but hopefully with that knowledge base and the capability that our IHL or our forward-looking manufacturer have, we can put it on the map lah.
Coming back to Commune and the little details behind every product launch, what do you really want the consumer and customers to understand a little bit more about the behind the scenes and all the little efforts that you guys are putting through?
For individual collections, I would think that when we launch a product, we want the consumer to understand the design concept and the thought process of how we come up with this. Not only following the trend, but making it very unique to us, Commune, which is maybe the functionality, maybe the color, maybe the mixed medium. It's very important to let the customer know what is happening behind the scene to create this collection, and a very good storytelling. I think everybody needs some form of assurance of what they are buying and how it can be presented in their own space to amplify their lifestyle. Collection needs to be close to people's heart, then they can relate. I cannot have a collection that is so detached.
One question for myself, for Lemonfridge Malaysia, because we're in the Malaysian market as well, doing interior design. Is there any ways that we can tackle the different cultures, the interior design trade in Malaysia?
Even though we are very near, Singapore and Malaysia, just cross the causeway, everything is different. The way you do marketing, your messaging can be different. In Malaysia, to be there and to be seen, it's events, physical stuff, having a network, having a VIP membership. I feel still a lot of traditional marketing channels. The way they look at social media is more for social rather than sales, campaign and all.
Rather than lifestyle.
Correct. You got to be there to actually physically talk to the locals. Also try to position yourself and ask who are your audience are.
One last question, if you could summarize your business philosophy in one line, the principle that guides how you lead, what would it be?
What makes a good leader is not to delegate, is to actually lead by example. If you need something to be done, you need to do it and to show people that it can be done. As a leader, a lot of time you got to step back from what you're doing and look at the whole picture once in a while. And always start internally. Because once you have a very strong internal team, then everything else seems easier.
Thank you, Shee Wen. It's
you.
been a pleasure to have you with us on Lemon Talks. We hope you enjoy the conversation like we did. And also to our audiences, if you would like to learn more about Commune lifestyle, we'll leave the links in our show notes. And of course, don't forget to follow us on Instagram for more conversation on design, interiors, and story that inspires. So until next time, this is Renee and Jeffrey from Lemonfridge Studio. You've been listening to the Lemon Talks.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye.
Thank you.